We are at the San Colombano Museum, part of Genus Bononie Fondazione Carispo in Bologna, Italy, where the Tagliavini Collection of antique keyboard instruments is housed. I am Catalina Vicens, curator and artistic director of the museum, and I invite you to join me celebrating the Early Music Day 2022 with some of the oldest instruments of the collection. This instrument was built in 1584 in Naples by the Venetian builder Nicolò Albana. The oral tradition says it belonged to Cornelia Tasso, the sister of the famous poet and author of the Gerusalemme Liberata, Torquato Tasso. Invested in her starry veil, the night in her kind arms embraced all this round. The silver moon, from sea uprising bright, spread frosty pearl upon the candid ground. And Cynthia-like, for beauty's glorious light, the lovesick nymph threw glittering beams around. And counselors of her old love, she made those valleys dumb, the silence and that shade. The refined instrument shows different layers of construction, which at the different stages resonated with the depth and the clarity of its sound, enabling filigree details, as those of the Moresque geometrical motifs made in carved wood and parchment that cover the interiors of the instrument. 4 small windows with female figures add an extra grace to the name-board. The instrument had originally only one set of strings and an extension of 5 octaves. Harpsichords of high quality were treasured, but often needed to be adapted to fit the developing musical styles and needs. Here, the keyboard was reduced and a second set of 8-foot strings was added. The light case of the instrument was protected by an outer case. In the 17th century, its lid was painted by a Neapolitan artist. Both the sacred and the pagan are here in dialogue. While Saint Cecilia plays the organ accompanied by angel musicians in a domestic scene, the mythological figures show the deep spiritual love between the shepherd Endymion and Selene, the goddess of the moon. Every night, she visited him during his sleep. By the end of the 16th century, harpsichord making and harpsichord music was much developed in Naples. This is attested by the print published in 1576 by Antonio Valente, a blind composer and organist who, amongst other things, intabulated songs like this piece by Philippe de Monte, Sortez mes pleurs, or Sortem plus disminuita. Sortez mes pleurs, come forth my tears, hasten to fall down upon the fire that burns and consumes me. Otherwise, all help will come too late, for in that short time, I will be reduced to ashes. This instrument is a spinet from Naples, anonymous from the late 16th century, but attributed to the instrument maker Alessandro Fabri. The instrument is exquisitely decorated. This instrument belonged to the noble Roman family Cenci Bolognetti, and it was housed once in the Palazzo Cenci, where Beatrice Cenci lived. This type of instrument, a rectangular spinet, was popular throughout the 16th and 17th centuries, and was particularly important in noble households as a tool of the education of young women. Musical and spiritual virtuosity, study and delight went hand in hand. Interpolated secular and sacred songs, as well as dances, formed an important part of the repertoire. It's remarkable here how the decoration has been applied directly to the thinly built case. Golden motifs and illusory blue marble windows give harmony and elegance to the black paint. The restored, refined parchment rose and the harpsichordium stop add richness to the delicate instrument. The ivory keyboard is engraved with faces that look at the player, with a faun and the god of Pan in the extremes. Here we have a painting by Guido Reni, one of the main painters of the Bolognese school, a later copy of his portrait of Beatrice Cenci, who was a young woman with a very unfortunate destiny. During her lifetime, though, she must have played instruments like this, if not this one. And now you're going to be hearing some music by Giulio Caccini, also known as Giulio Romano, who with his new style of composition was also admired abroad. And now you're going to hear a piece, an arrangement of Amarilli Mia Bella by the English composer Peter Phillips. This special instrument, looking almost like a Bentzite Spinet, but from around 1770, is a piano in the shape of a laying down harp. The builder of this instrument is not known, but it has been attributed to several different builders from southern Germany. And despite of its dimensions, the instrument has a whole range of tonal variety thanks to the hand stops present throughout the instrument. They allow for different colors to emerge from this tiny instrument, sounds like those of a harp, a guitar, or even a psaltery.